Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing Uncanny X-Men Fear Itself, issue 540. So let's talk about the cover first. I like the cover because it has to do with all the Fear Itself stuff, Juggernaut having the hammer. So I was really expecting some Fear Itself, all the connections, especially because we have Fear Itself. I like that the color is the same of the I would say main series, because the main series always changes its color each issue. So I'm glad that it's the same color for the main series issue. Because that was blue this week and this is blue this week. Alright, so let's jump into the story. Let's see what happened. The beginning of the story is just Juggernaut coming to San Francisco, finding this guy just to be his little minion. Scott is talking to like PR saying, oh, you gotta get these people off my back, mutants are good, you have to show that mutants are good. We saw that in one of the .1 issues, the first .1 issue for Uncanny X-Men, that the X-Men are getting PR people to help them instead of Scott having a smile on his face. He has to worry about like the villains and Fear Itself and all that stuff. He doesn't have to worry about the people worrying about mutants and that they don't like mutants. So that's gonna be the PR job to say, oh, mutants are good. He says even like Magneto, it's not even Magneto anymore. We're good people now. Well, we are always good people, but even the bad mutants are good now. At least some of them. So, also Peter wants to go to his sister and see her, but Kitty's like, no, I don't think that's the right idea to do. I love your sister as much as you, but she's not the same person anymore. But Peter doesn't listen. He goes to see his sister, and even his sister says, I'm not the same person anymore as I was before, but she's trying. Emma Namor, they have a whole conversation with each other. And Namor trying to hit on Emma. It's like, no, I'm with Scott. You can't do that. And then Namor's like, this might be the last time I see you. Who knows? I could die with all this chaos going on in the world. And she's like, no, I'm with Scott, so I'm not doing anything. And then in the end, we see Juggernaut is finally hitting San Francisco, and everyone knows about it. It's on the news. And that's really the Fear Itself connection. So we're going to have to see what happens with the whole Juggernaut X-Men thing. I think the best part about this issue was that even though it was a Fear Itself connection, you still felt like, alright, we're going to the story it was before the Fear Itself connection. Because a lot with the Fear Itself connections, like I'm going to throw in Invincible Iron Man. That was a crossover. And they told a whole different story. They went off track to the story they were before. But at least with this, they're still having the story they had before and a connection with Fear Itself, which I really liked. I like that Kitty's tangible again, so she could talk. She's her normal Kitty, telling Peter what to do. We haven't seen Peter's sister in a while, so seeing her was pretty nice. And then Emma, she really surprised me in this issue, I have to say. Usually Emma's really, in the beginning of this panels with Emma, she's like, flirting with Namor. But you would think, oh yeah, I don't care about Scott, well, she does care about Scott. It's like, oh, I'll cheat, whatever. But I'm actually surprised with her, because even though she flirts, she's still loyal to Scott, even though they're not married. Namor's like, you're not married, you shouldn't do this. You can do whatever you want. It's like, I'm still gonna be with Scott. And I was very surprised with that with Emma, because that's kind of out of character, but not out of character. It's just a really surprise, I would say. What else? Those are pretty key parts that I really liked in this issue. Also the PR stuff. Hopefully that maybe in the future we'll have a big thing. Oh, we love mutants now. It's gonna be a big leap, but we're gonna have to, maybe as time goes on, the PR is gonna help the mutants and people might accept them a little bit more. The thing I didn't like, even though I really liked that Fear Itself and was a part of it in this issue, and there's other parts that from the last issue, like they didn't forget the stuff from the last issue, and they still had Fear Itself. I still wish it was more Fear Itself, in this issue. It seems like in next issue there will be a lot more Fear Itself, Juggernaut, and all that stuff. But since it's a connection, Maybe some people just bought it because it was a Fear Itself connection. He's like, oh, Fear Itself, let's go buy it. I don't like X-Men, but let's buy Fear Itself. Maybe people were looking more Fear Itself. It was more, alright, story of... I mean, I think I really liked that it was X-Men still and not just Fear Itself, but I think it should have had a little bit more Fear Itself. Because a lot of people are looking for Fear Itself. Let's talk about the art. I've never been a big fan of Uncanny X-Men art. It's not horrible. I've definitely seen worse art, but, like Scott. He just doesn't look like Scott. He just looks like a businessman. You know, I'm with Scott, he's changed a lot, but the art, I didn't like that much. And the girls, they all pretty much look the same. You know, Peter's sister, and then I'll turn to Emma. Really, all do look the same. And this is Emma. Oh, that's not Emma. It's Peter's sister. This is Emma, right? I mean, they kind of look the same. I feel like all the girls in this art look the same, which is not a great thing. But I thought this issue was really good. Better than a lot of Fear Itself connection issues that we've seen. Not better than Iron Man connection crossover Fear Itself thing, but this was moderately good. They had some stuff that were iffy, but they had some really great stuff that continued the story and made you want to read more, I would say. And I think the next issue is gonna be really great with the whole Juggernaut stuff, and we'll have to see more Fear Itself stuff. Maybe we'll see even a little fear in this. But I would say 4 stars. Pick it up. If you are not into Fear Itself and you just like the X-Men, you might like this issue because it's not that much Fear Itself. If you're into Fear Itself and not X-Men, I don't recommend this issue for you. But if you're an X-Men fan, definitely pick this up. Alright, so this is Comic Uno. I hope you enjoyed.